What's up, Broad fans? Just wanted to take a minute here to show you the new Snakes in the Playground on vinyl, but I figured if I'm going to go ahead and make a video, might as well present some other Bride items that I have in my collection. So we're going to start off towards the beginning of their career, which would have been when they were called Matrix, and this is one of the original cassette demos that they had. And you can see right here, this one's the Monkey See, Monkey Do. And there's the other side with the paper labels. And these guys were from West Point, Kentucky. I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, so they were right in my backyard. And then the insert is basically, it's upside down. It's just an old photograph of the band at that time. I guess they just wasn't trying to make all out insert J cards and whatnot. But there's that. And a lot of the demos on here ended up being on, some of the songs were on the first three albums, different ones like, Heroes, All Hallows Eve, stuff like that. So that's the demo. Then the first actual LP is Show No Mercy, and it is on Pure Metal label. And you see the back cover there with the band on it. And that originally was only released on LP, vinyl, and cassette. It didn't come out on CD originally, but at least as far as I know it didn't. But here is the cassette of Show No Mercy, and that's what the tape itself looks like. Cassettes are getting harder to come by, so Then the next album that we have is Live to Die. And I'm kind of getting a glare with this album cover on here. Go ahead and take it out. There we go. Live to Die. There's the back. And there's the Pure Metal label. And I think that they really took off on this album. It's a little heavier, I think, than the first album. But all their albums are good. They're all heavy. And then this is something special that a friend of mine gave to me recently within the past, 6 months. And it's a CD cover of Live to Die that was autographed by Dale and Troy Thompson. So that's a cool little item. Then we also have Live to Die on cassette. And there's the tape. And this cassette here is mint condition. I bought it on eBay not too long ago, and it was still sealed, so I opened it, and I've only listened to it once, so this thing is crisp. Then next up in my collection is Silence Is Madness. And that's the back cover. Now this one here is not a US pressing. It's on a label called Communique Records. And I don't know. I thought this was an import. It says that it is licensed from Pure Metal Records. So I don't know. But it sounds good. But I do believe that they had one on vinyl that you could have gotten that had the Pure Metal label on it. So I don't know if this was made for, United Kingdom or Europe or what. But anyway, it's an original pressing. You can get a newer pressing. I don't know if it was reissued by Girder or Rox Records or Retroactive, one of those guys. Now, unfortunately, I do not have Silence Is Madness on cassette yet, but I'm still looking for it. I'm sure I'll pop up on one for a decent price before long. So then, at that time, they were kind of crossing over to a different sound and even a different label, but somewhere in the time of crossing over between Pure Metal and I think it was Star Song Records, they put out End of the Age. And this is a cassette. and it was basically a best of. And at the time, it had a new track on it called "Everybody Knows My Name," and I think that they put it on here. I don't know. It might have been right before they released "Kinetic Faith," because that's where that album, the song came out on, mainly known, was on "Kinetic Faith." But here it is on Pure Metal, and I heard that you can also get End of the Age also on the Star Song label. So that's what I meant by they were in a crossing over stage then. But this has a lot of good songs on it. You know, I think there's only 10 tracks, but it's got "Everybody Knows My Name," "Hell No," "Hot Down South," "Forever," "Forever in Darkness," "Heroes," "Same Old Sinner," "Thunder in the City," "Fire and Brimstone," "Evil That Men Do," "All Hallows Eve." So this was the greatest hits of the first 3 studio albums of Bride. So if you're just looking for a hits album, this is the one to get. They put out a lot of other hits albums later on, like Best of Bride and what have you, but a lot of those are hits albums of stuff from when they were like later signed on Star Song and other labels, and it doesn't have the tracks from the early days on it. So then, after that, obviously, comes Kinetic Faith, and this is the original cassette, and this is on Pure Metal. So this was sometime in the time that they were still going through a transition of switching to Star Song. Now, I don't know what the deal was when they got the Star Song. I guess Star Song was able to get rights to re-release some of these albums. I don't know. But I'm not really keeping these all in order because I don't have the full Bride collection to the fullest extent like I do some of my other bands like Striper or Bloodgood. But then here's another one that's kind of a harder one to find on cassette, and it is Oddities. So here's the cassette on that one. Getting a bad glare. But this one was put out, it says distributed by Pamplin Music. Then later they come out with, no, actually before Oddities, but this is my CD of Scarecrow Messiah. This one was on Star Song, and it came out in '94 and was produced by John and Dino Elefante. You know, those guys were like magic makers when it came to making Christian rock and Christian metal albums. They could make bands that were good sound great. And then you have the album Drop. This is a CD. And like I said earlier, originally they did not put Bride Show No Mercy, the first album, out on CD when it was first released. But this is obviously one that's a later release. This is a digipack put out by Retroactive Records in 2011. So then it brings us to what I received in the mail today. Now, this has been long in the making, and I'm sure that they put a lot of detail into this. I'm sure it's going to sound great. I haven't even spun it. I got it in the mail probably an hour ago, opened it up, unsealed it just to check the vinyl, and here we have Snakes in the Playground for the first time on vinyl. And this was put out by Girder Records. It was supposed to have been released about a week earlier than when it actually was. I think they had issues with the distributors. It was nothing to do on Girder's behalf. They sent out an email, basically letting people know, hey, it's in the works, it's on the way. And they got it here really fast. So this thing shipped out Wednesday, and here it is in my hands Friday. But I'm going to show you, here's the inner sleeve with the band on it. The lyrics on the back. Really good, durable, quality inserts. These are more like made out of cardboard than just paper, so they don't rip and get the pop seams like all the old ones do. But here is the vinyl. When you look at it, not in such a bright light as this, it's more of a darker kind of a, I don't know, just like a brandy wine kind of color, but with all the light shining in this room, you can really see the translucent part of it. You can see a little bit of the black marble mixed in it. It really is a pretty color, and when you do hold it under a bright light, it really looks even neater. But like I said, I haven't spun it yet. I'm sure it sounds great, but I just wanted to share it with you guys. You guys have a blessed day. God bless.